Inshidi mahara okorokun asin ishru ora maharkete soro. Inshinikin nano umokoriti sikirakantakam aro isikini sinimi ini inakorakod. Give it unto you, that wherever you go, in all the ways you will go to teach and to preach, so will the children of God come to know the purpose they came into this world to serve. They will come to know how they came to be on earth. They will come to know how all things came into existence. For no man knows these things, for no man was given to know these things. Every book that man wrote, in all the ways in which he wrote the books, was always the way God showed man that when you started off from the way of deceit, you will never bring forth anything other than deceit. And deceit is all that man brought forth from himself. And no man was able to work in the most sacred and divine order of God, in which lies the truth. And it is for this reason that we said to men that it is only in the end that the truth will ever be known. And every man went believing he knows the truth. You cannot know the truth when you start off in deceit. And we said to everybody, deceivers shall deceive, and every deceit shall beget another deceit. And when deceit begets deceit, it increases, it multiplies, and it goes forth in abundance. And that is what happened to man in his world. And he did not know why it is that we said it to mankind only in the end will you come to know the way that you have gone the wayward way, and that you had never ever found the truth. And we give to you that in all the ways that you will teach and preach, so will the truth be known to the children. Every book that man wrote, in all the many books he wrote, paid testament to everyone that deceit is all that man found. Deceit is all man sowed. And no man understands why his world was never perfect, nor that he was never at peace with his world and his world at peace with himself, because he caused everything that was of God in the divine to be corrupted by the deceit that came forth from men. And I say to you, O son, man does not know your God, does not know your God. For had he known your God, he would have known that God would not give anything that is sacred and divine to anyone. For God saw all the ways of men on earth. God knew every way that man went on earth. And God showed man that nothing he did has ever been in the divine and sacred order of your Father and Mother God. Nothing that man did. Absolutely nothing. And now man understands why his world in so much turmoil. While the decay that set in increases and gets worse. And it will get worse. No man knows why he has to die. Because God told everyone, you came forth as gods, in the image and likeness of God, in the eternal lights of an eternal God. And no man questioned, if he came forth like God eternal, why does he have to die? And God could have told man, because you started to corrupt the things of God that are sacred and divine, God took out God for man. And God loaned unto man a lesser God. In that lesser God, there was no eternal light, and therefore man could not last. For every way that he grows weak and weary, old and dreary, it is the way God shows man that his lights go dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And in all the ways his lights go dimmer and dimmer, he expires. He expires. There are several things that your Father and Mother God showed to the children they didn't understand. They didn't understand because they didn't wait for us to explain to them how we give anything and how we enable them to understand what we give to them. And so they themselves went in always the wrong and the deceiving ways. Every story that was told, in every book, including what they call the Holy Bible, and you must tell them, nothing on earth was ever made holy after the desecration of the laws of God. Nothing on earth was ever made to be holy after man desecrated the sacred and divine laws of God. So whatever they believe, in whatever it is they were given to believe, there is no book that is holy. There is none. There is absolutely none. When God wanted man to receive anything that was holy from God, God showed man in a vision. God gave it man in the way in which he was able to image it in his own mind. And God gave it man to bring forth from the utterances of God to man. There is no book. There is no book that is holy before God. None. And you must tell them. See, all these names that you are seeing, what do you call the holy book? They are not just names. They are not just names. Each represents a light that is of God given to the world. And none of you understood these things. I will give you to tell them. Tell them. The reason God told you everything has God in it is because God wants you to know whatever has God has the light of God in it. And everywhere, every one of you picked up the book you called holy and looked and studied it, you didn't understand anything at all. Because you did not know how to read and understand that which comes from a divine God. You didn't. You didn't. I'd say, son, this whole world heard and didn't listen to God. You have all gone the wrong way, the wrong way, the wrong way, the wrong way. Still don't understand it. Every story that was told represented the way in which the might of God works from the lights of God. God said, son, God is such a wise God. No man understand how wise God is. No man. No man. Because had man understood the way God speaks and knows what God means by the things God says, he would have come to the realization that he had indeed gone the wrong way. He had gone the wrong way. Man loved everything that he saw that was lesser than himself. Man loved everything that he saw that was lesser than himself. Man did not love man. I say it again, man did not love man. For if man knew the way to love man, he would have known the way of the love of God in him and in all things. And God said, you just have to look. I love this house, I love this car, I love this dress, I love this. God said, but you haven't loved yourself. And it is for this reason that God told man to know yourself. If you know yourself, you would know that you are in the glorification of an everlasting and all-powerful God. And in knowing yourself and knowing that which is of you that is of God, you would have learned how to love you. Because nothing in this world that exists in this world did not come from you. And so God said, you see how stupid they are. You're looking all over the world for everything that is outside of yourself, never knowing. I give you hands, that in all the ways that the hands of God worked from your hands, God showed you what you were able to do with your hands. You can produce and manifest anything, even the cars you want and the dresses you want and the houses you want. Where did they come from? Except your hands worked to create it. So they came from you. They came from you. And every way that we said, look, find us first in you, find God first in you, you still didn't understand anything that was being told to you. You're looking everywhere outside of yourself. I want this, I want that, I own this, I own that. And God said, the greatest thing you can own is the God within you. The greatest thing that you can ever have is the love of God in you. And everyone went in the same way. That is why God said, you see, when we told him it's more blessed to give than receive, we say, look, if you can produce these things from yourself, you don't have to bother about needing them or wanting them or having them, because you know that which is within you is that which is outside of you. And everyone went in the same foolish ways. And you must tell them, everything that you produce from yourself, because you came forth in the image and likeness of God, you also placed an image and likeness of God in it. So every one of you that like money got a God. Money has a God. And you must tell them the name of the money God. The name of the money God is Ezekiel. That is the money God. So you can read everything in Ezekiel and don't understand what it tells you. Because God knows all the ways to show you that when you violate the sacred and divine knowledge of God and the sacred and divine wisdom of God, God twisted everything up and threw it at you. So you can read every book that you want that you call in the holy books. You don't know what the names represent because they are all representatives of different gods. And so whatever you go after and you worship, that is your God. And that is why your father and mother God told you, you mustn't have any other gods before this God that is in you. And you would have known that in all the ways that you have God in you and produce God from within you, you are able to command that which comes forth from you. You see, these simple things they didn't understand. They didn't understand any of these things. And so we will show them that in every way that we will take away all these things that they go after, that they see outside of themselves, we will leave them to ponder. Now that we don't have any of these things, who do we call on now? That's why God said, you see, whenever calamities and disasters come, oh my God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh, I lost everything, oh God. God said, yes. You lost everything that you bow down to, that you worshipped as your gods, because you did not find the way to the God within you. And now you are left with nothing. You have not known how it is that your own God is your only salvation. We give you to teach and to preach, to bring about a consciousness of all that which is to be known that had not been known, to show all our children why it is that all the things that they craved in this world and didn't get, why God did not give it to them. Because God wanted them to recognize your power of creation lies within you, not in the things outside of you. Everything that you would have needed is within you. Wait and let God teach you how to access that God power that is within you, that would then enable you to be able, like God, to want for nothing. See, when we told them, yeah, I'll give up all these things, they didn't want to give it up. You know why? Because they weren't well founded in their faith, that if they give it up, they would find it again. That's why God said, all of them that you tell them, contribute to this cause, contribute to this cause, and who didn't give little, and who did give little didn't give again. And God said, look at them, tell them without any reservation that you have shown God you have no faith in yourself and you have no faith in God. Every single one of them, God tells you, tell them. Because I told you, God is not a respecter of anybody. Let them know what it is that we had given unto you to test them. And we will continue to test them. And we will test them in even worse situations. Because God said, now is the time when God is separating the wheat from the chaff. God will test every one of them in ways that God shows them that they are nothing but ingrates unto God. You brought nothing here, you take nothing from here. Everything you find belongs to God. Everything you created from your hands were created from the hands of God, working from your hands. So you don't owe nothing. You don't ever create anything that is yours. It all belongs to God. It all belongs to God. And everywhere we tell you, tell them again, tell them again. Lift up those who need. Share with them what you have. Now, when God says share, God, I mean just the people around you, just who you call your family. Share with everybody that looks like you, that are the children of God, just like you. Because when you are in one family, you don't make any distinction about who you give to, because you give for the good of the family. And tell them, how do you run around expecting some other race to give you something when God tells you, look at you, are you not different? And if you are different, it's not the way that God wants you to know. That in all the ways God speaks, God tells you, look after your household. Look after your household. For when this whole world is the house of God, and the children of God dwell in every room in the house of God, you look after the household of God. Look after the household of God. It is a simple, simple message to you, coded in a simple, simple phrase to you. Love ye one another and do good for the good of God to each other. I give you always the way of prophecy, and in every way that it is given unto you, so will you prophesy it. That there are many, 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 many more tragic disasters that are coming to this world, on its way to this world. And nothing that you have stored up on earth as your treasures will ever be regained. God will destroy everything. And then God will leave you with you. God will leave you with you. And God will ask you, can you now live with you? Can you now live with you? Can you live with a you you do not know? Can you live with a you you have never sought and understood? God say, y'all see when they're crying out, oh God, oh God, oh God, and God told you they will be weeping and wailing. They have not learned how to live with the God that is within them. For they lived for the gods outside of themselves. And in every part of this earth will the weeping and wailing increase. And you will see why God told every one of you that the time will come when God will surely, surely judge everyone. Lamalalo usulamatito lo talakaratis sinifirakan darakan burakan tiskan koram dandan dalakan and God says to you, let them sing and dance in the joys of God that giveth in the goodness of the heart of God that will be awakened in those that confess to your God that they have wronged your God. They have worked against the sacred and divine orders of God, that they ask your God's forgiveness for the things that they have done that were displeasing unto your God. And when they are able to do that, we will touch them and we will show them the way that they must now walk before God and do the things that are pleasing in the sight of God. You are the way, you are our truth, you are our light. Let your way and your truth and your light be that which they find, that in finding the way, the truth, and the light, they will also find the way to their own salvation. Let the peace of God touch the hearts of those who believe in the things that we have given unto you to say to them, that in all the ways they may find light in themselves, they will come to know the God that is hidden within them. Let them turn away from all these ways that they have followed. Let them abandon the doctrines of men in all the many doctrines that were given to them. Let them wait. Let God teach them how to know God, how to understand the way God speaks, and what God says by the things God speaks, so that they too, like you, would come into the true knowledge and understanding of God within themselves, and God as the all in all the world.